Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another exciting Minecraft discussion. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am very, very happy to be here this morning on this snowy, gorgeous day. And it's like score. I got the whole house to myself today. This little Giovanni, our golden retriever, and me with the fire going. So I plan to be incredibly in tune with what we're talking about, inspired, creative, and just loving life on this day. So let's get going about embracing imperfection. Great topic here today. And I got to first start, but I have to do a shout out to my inspiration for the day, which is Marina Harris, who writes for Psychology Today. And there's an article in there that's about kind of superpowers we don't know we have. And actually, one of them, she talks about being imperfection. And it's interesting because my head's kind of here anyway. And I think that oftentimes, we think of it with menfolk in particular, I think, with having this armor up and invulnerability being being meaning that we're strong and tough and we can endure anything. And it's also the women folk because we're all people and we're all that armor is all there. We put that armor up to protect us from a variety of negative emotions, especially rejection, right? Also embarrassment, humiliation, just disapproval and people not liking us, not fitting in, and not belonging is different. We talked about that, but really, this isn't. It's interesting because we most of many of us, I'd probably say, hesitate to say all of us because that's so polarized, but the high majority of us have at least experienced, suiting up in this armor to protect the imperfection that's underneath. When ironically, when we drop the armor and let our imperfection be seen, we're more relatable to other people. People like us better. Not that we're looking for the approval of that because that's inauthentic. The authentic part is having the courage to really brave through, drop the armor, and realize we're not perfect, and just share your story. Share your story of imperfection. I'm not talking about go out in the world and overshare. I'm talking about just being real. Oh yeah, I've experienced that too. Oh yeah, that was horribly painful. Da, 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 da. Just to not even pretend that we're perfect when everyone knows that we're not. It's an immediate letting the air out of the balloon kind of feeling. It's a relief when we adjust that bar to do our best rather than having it at perfect. And Marina kind of says this in the beginning. She says invulnerability is a classic superpower, but in real life, pretending to have it tends to backfire. I can't agree more. I mean, we all know, we've all bumped into those people that are just, got the bravado going on and like they have it all down. And people don't like people like that. Why? Because we can't relate to them. They come off as if they're better than us. And I don't think anybody likes the feeling of somebody else elevating at our expense. People just plain and simply don't like that. And then she says, instead, those who make mistakes and let others know it are better liked and often more successful. And this has me thinking about, as many of you know, I have a morning routine and I also branch out into new people, though I definitely have like a cluster of people that I listen to frequently. Oprah being one, Wayne Dyer being another, Brene Brown being another. And all three of those people, the top three that I listen to the most, are very, very open about their lives, the mistakes they've made, things that have happened to them, that violations and all kinds of things, how they braved and were courageous and sort of walked through the mud, as we say. And that those three people I just named are extremely well known, and that's because they have a following because people can relate to them. They're honest about mistakes. They're honest about what things have happened. It's when we put that armor up that people actually back up, because it's just like, okay, go ahead and stay locked up in your facade of having it all together. I don't understand you or know you or want to know you. That's really what we're saying when we come up against armor. And another thing it does when we armor up is it blocks connection, which is a basic human need. I don't care how introverted or extroverted you are, wherever you land on the spectrum with that. No matter who you are, we are wired for connection. And perfectionism gets in the way of connection when we suit up in that armor and sort of not wanting to engage in our own authentic vulnerability. Vulnerability, meaning to be able to have the strength and courage to expose ourselves or share our real story. You know, also Brene Brown talks about the definition actually being almost the same as courage. Actually, courage coming from the Latin word cur, meaning heart. She says is to share our story just from straight from the heart, just share our story without knowing what the outcome's going to be. Courage, also showing up and to do whatever interaction without knowing what the outcome will be. And it's ironically or interestingly, I've been using that word too much, I guess. Today. It is ironic though. Ironic means whenever there's an element of surprise. So I guess that's spot on accurate actually. With when we're talking about vulnerability and courage, the definition being super similar, when we do drop the armor, the connection is there again, and it's enhanced and it's embraced and it's real and it's authentic. Why? Because people can relate to you when you let your humanness show. It's really that simple. So Marina gets into this as well. I've been listening. Brene Brown does this a lot, so I guess I have this in my head. But then Marina is sort of supporting this because she says connection has always been a basic human need. To achieve it, many people assume they need to put their best self forward, never make mistakes or blunders, and always know the right thing to say. This pressure can lead to stress as people second guess their presentation, their actions, and their words. Research, however, suggests that such effort may not be worth it. That is what we're talking about. So, also think about the person who's got that facade going at a work event or wherever out in the world. That stuff is exhausting. It's exhausting to put up a facade, never mind try to maintain that stuff. And again, the thing is, it makes everybody around you uncomfortable because they just don't, they can't see who's in there. It's like trying to look through a really dirty windshield or something like what's coming. I don't know. I can't tell, sort of thing. Marina goes on to talk about some research with this, which is interesting, and I don't doubt it for one second, just based on just my own narrow life experiences and what I've seen on, different people talking on TV or just out in the world and whatever. She says in classic studies on what came to be called the pratfall effect, social psychologist Elliot Aronson showed that people who demonstrated high levels of skill in trivia challenges, but also committed minor blunders, like let's say spilling coffee on themselves, were rated more likable by others than similarly skilled people who made no such stumbles. I think probably many of you can relate to this. I know I can. I can't come up with examples in my head because there's just been so many. And I'm thinking like on I don't actually watch a lot of television, but some things on TV and also just out in the world because I do also see a lot of presentations, high rollers out there speaking on things, and when they say like whoops, and they'll dust off their suit jacket or something because they had little blueberry muffin there. That just to me says human, just human and makes them just more relatable. It brings I guess it feels like it brings us to that place of when you come down to it, we all put our shoes on in the morning. We all put pants or dress skirt, whatever on in the morning. We're really all just energy walking around wearing different outfits. Nobody's above anybody. And when people are honest about their coffee stains that they have on their boob in the morning, to me, it's like, yeah, we're all in the same club. We're all connected. That to me, that's what that does. So Marina goes on to say that this research shows that it's not only okay to be fallible, it can actually benefit us. Perfection is not something that other people find endearing. Oh my God, that's so true. Being vulnerable is. When we see that others have flaws, we feel that we understand them better and can connect with them. It was basically what we were just saying. And it's actually funny because I know if she's listening to this, she'll laugh too. I have a good friend at Champlain, and she and I go to lunch every couple of weeks, and we both love to eat. We just like are right out there with it. We're both foodies. And because of that, And we also get really excited when we have lunch together. So we're talking and we're up and down. We often go to a cafeteria on campus. And so because I think we're just so excited about life and food and being together, we constantly spill stuff. And she just spilled something on her boob this week, and I loved how she just and it's frequent for me too. For me, it's usually mustard, I've realized mustard stains worse than red wine. I don't know what it is, but mustard just and especially for women people, it seems to me because it's like this little shelf underneath the chin, kind of like a baby has the bibs with the little catch-all things. I think we need those. But my friend was just so excited about whatever she was doing and eating, and it landed right on her boob, and she's just like, "Oh, okay," and just grabs a napkin, wipes it off, kinda dab, 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 licks the end and dab, dab, dab. I love that. I'm constantly spilling stuff on me. In fact, my husband, I went to buy a white he was with me. I went to buy, like, a white top or something, and he looked at me like, "Really? That you wear that once and then that's over?" Because 'cause you're constantly spilling stuff. But the point is being together with her, we're so comfortable. It's just human. People spill stuff on their boobs, and it's okay. And sort of the reverse of that very comfortable, um, vulnerable situation, imperfect situation, the opposite, to say, instead of being with my very good friend and colleague, if at Champlain, we're all very real. I can't say all because that's in everybody's word, but it's a great place with great vibes and people are just open and are willing to be vulnerable. I don't think I could work in a place that wasn't, honestly, because if I picture being surrounded in a bunch of power suits where if you spilled something on your boob, you had to kind of, sheepishly duck into a women's room and pretend like it didn't happen and then take out your little Tide stick and hurry up and get the stain out before anybody noticed. That just the very thought of that is exhausting. I'd rather give it a chuckle, say, whoops, looks like I dropped something on my boob, and then have a few chuckles and then go on with my day. Much more comfortable, more real, more human, and a little funny. And then I like how Marina wraps up this little bit that she does in Imperfection. She says, Marina Harris, this is from Psychology Today. She says that in your own life, this and other research suggests it's important not to get wrapped up in what you think will make you likable, because you're probably wrong about it. Sometimes, in fact, the things we dislike the most about ourselves are the most endearing to others. It works both ways. Sometimes what we like about ourselves isn't necessarily a quality others appreciate. Instead of acting in a way that you think increases your appeal, drop the armor, be your genuine self, and let people discover what they like most about you. I love it. Okay, embrace your imperfection. Let everybody see exactly who you are. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from Northern Vermont. Have a mindful, imperfect, very real day.